headquarters of the New Patriotic Party. We have called you here to address 3 critical issues. That is the shocking conduct of the Special Prosecutor, Mr. Kisi Ejabin, in declaring Ofori Atta, the former finance minister, as a fugitive and also a wanted person. And also we'll be addressing the unconstitutional revocation of appointment and recruitment. You recall that the Chief of Staff, through a directive, state institutions, directed them to revoke all appointments made after December 7, 2024. And again, the obnoxious nolli prosequi that free individuals who have cases to answer in court into the Ghanaian. This is somebody who is saying that I'm seeking medical attention. The health facility wrote a letter to the OSP. It was signed, dated, and it was an authentic letter. So if you think that you need a person badly for your investigation, just as you travel to UK to interview Sam Mahama, what then stopped you from doing same to former finance minister? What is so urgent that you cannot wait? What is so urgent that if you could have waited 2 years before he interviewed Sam Mahama in the famous Airbus issue, then why this haste? And even if you do the calculations, we are talking about just within the space of 2 weeks. So you request the presence of somebody. The person says that I'm out of the jurisdiction for medical attention. You have received letters from his lawyers. You have received letters from the hospital signed by a medical doctor. And all of these correspondence is just within 2 weeks. Then, quickly, you label the person as a fugitive. Very, very bizarre situation. On February 7th, 2025, in a reply to the Special Prosecutor's letter of February 5th, Mr. Ofori Atta's lawyer stated, "Please find the attached document indicating that our client is receiving attention at the Mayo Clinic in the US. It outlines his appointment and suggests a date after March when our client may be able to return to Ghana. A date after March. March is just next month." The letter from Mayo Hospital stated that Mr. Ofori Atta was undergoing further testing and management, including possible surgical intervention in March 2025. The hospital's letter provided reliable contact, a doctor's name, the department name, a phone number, a reliable email address. It was also stamped Mayo Clinic authentic document with a signature and a date. Nonetheless, the correspondence between the OSP and the lawyers on February 11th, 2025, 12 men, including 1 police officer, 4 military personnel, and 7 unidentified individuals in plain clothes, raided Mr. Ken Ofori Atta's home. Video footage of the raid reveals that one Richard Japa, a third accused in the famous ambulance trial case, accompanied the men into the residence of Mr. Ofori Atta, all armed to the teeth. Ladies and gentlemen, the OSP is being unreasonable, considering the ongoing communication between Ofori Atta and the OSP office concerning his health. Additionally, the treatment letter from the Mayo Clinic should demonstrate that he is indeed receiving care. My little knowledge in law reveals that if somebody is declared a fugitive, it means that person cannot be reached, cannot be traced. You don't even know where the person is. And at least you give yourself a reasonable time after a search. In any case, the OSP lacked that power to declare anybody wanted. It is only the court that can do so. If the special prosecutor's letter from January 24th had prompted Mr. Ofori Atta to leave Ghana, the OSP might be justified in harboring suspicion. However, Mr. Ofori Atta was already out of the country well before OSPs contacted him. He traveled on the 2nd of January, and your letter, the vote of censure by Parliament readily comes to mind. Mr. Ofori Atta has remained present, fully engaged, and open with the relevant authorities throughout these proceedings. His long history of openness and cooperation reinforces a commitment to upholding the highest standards of integrity. Mr. Ofori Atta can never be a fugitive. He is not a fugitive, and he will never be a fugitive. The OSP got it wrong. He got it wrong. Once Mr. Ofori Atta's doctors declare him fit and healthy, he will return to the country. Until then, the special prosecutor should avoid making sensational statements, provoking public emotions, and creating drama over the matter that could have been adequately resolved through correspondence. If you label your former finance minister as a fugitive, which indeed is not so, what you are doing is that it's a national embarrassment. It amounts to national embarrassment. When indeed, it is worthy to note that this so-called good governance practice and principles can never be grounds for termination of appointment. In his letter, he never mentioned that these recruitments were done illegally, they did not follow due process. He never mentioned so. He only said that it was against good governance and practices, all because the people received their appointment letters on the 7th of December 2024. Constitutionally, every government has a 4-year mandate. And it is clear when the mandate will expire. So before the exit of any government, that government duly, under the Constitution, can undertake any exercise, including recruitment. Ladies and gentlemen, this revocation will destroy livelihoods. We are talking about the police, those who have been recruited, police, military. We are talking about fire service, immigration, SEPS. We are talking about GRA. We are talking about all institutions. So we are talking about thousands of jobs, mass unemployment. The most immediate and devastating consequences of this directive is the mass unemployment. Thousands of Ghanaians who have legally secured jobs will suddenly find themselves without work, not due to incompetence or redundancy or any illegality, but because of a certain political expediency. This decision will also plunge thousands of families into financial distress, worsening an already difficult economic condition. It will also discourage young professionals from pursuing careers in public service, as it indicates that job security is subject to a political current. The government must recognize that public service appointments are not gifts. They are legitimate job opportunities, and through due process, these affected workers are not just numbers. They are fathers, they are mothers, they are recent graduates, they are breadwinners. They have committed themselves to national service. Their fate should not be decided by politically motivated directive. The New Patriotic Party has a duty to defend Ghanaians against such unjust directive. We will not support the Mahama administration in destroying the livelihoods of Ghanaians who have gone through the process to secure their appointments. On December 19, 2016, when the NDC lost, I recall the former President Mahama, then now President Mahama, through the same chief of staff, made key appointments. In fact, on the 16th of December 2026, that was when they appointed the Auditor General, the former Auditor General, Mr. Bonlevo, who is part of the discredited ORA. Key appointments were made. Mr. Joseph Whittle, Ms. Josephine Nkrumah, and Mr. Daniel Bonlevo to lead SHRAJ, National Commission for Civic Education, and the Office of the Auditor General, respectively. Additionally, on December 20th, 2016, President Mahama, through the Finance Ministry, also increased, I recall, the National Service Allowance from 350 Ghana cedis to 549 Ghana cedis, effective January 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, the NPP government under President Ofori Atta did not cancel these appointments. We honored them. Likewise, we did not dismiss John Mohammed's last-minute appointment or last-minute increase to the National Service Allowance. We honored all of these. This is how democratic governance should function. It's supposed to be a continuum. Therefore, President Mahama cannot revoke the appointment of these recruitments, just as President Ofori Atta took responsibility for his last-minute appointment in 2016. He must also take responsibility for the appointment made legitimately, whatever date within 2024. Now, because this directive lacked basis and it was not well grounded in law, you realize that there have been a lot of abuses. When you go to Ghana Water, I saw a communique from the Chief Executive Officer saying that for him, he has revoked all appointments from November 2024. Why? Because when he took office, he noticed that the appointments made at Ghana Water were in November 2024. So if he is supposed to stick to the directive of the Chief of Staff, he will not get anybody to sack. So he had to go back to November 2024. Very bizarre. So because this directive lacked proper legal grounding, it's been a subject of abuse by so many state institutions. And this is very, very unfair. We urge Ghanaians whose livelihood are at risk due to this unfortunate directive from President Mahama's administration to remain strong and recognize that the New Patriotic Party is dedicated to protecting their legitimate jobs. The NPP will fully support any legal action to undo this illegality, this wrongful termination of appointment. I am already in court. I've already directed my lawyers. Today, as I speak, they will serve all processes. They are going to file all processes today. We are in court to challenge the Unconstitutional Act of the President, and the New Patriotic Party will support any legal action to undo this illegal and wrongful termination of appointment. We also encourage the affected persons to come together and seek legal redress. Ladies and gentlemen, President Mohammed's administration is a growing disaster, particularly in the fight against corruption. As you know, the government established oral committee. For us, it looks like the committee was just set up as a political persecution mechanism. Why? I have a report in my hands, and I'll read it. The former Chief Executive Officer of Microfinance and Small Scale Center, Maslow, Sedna Tamaklu, has been sentenced to serve 10-year prison with hard labor. The conviction stems from misappropriation of funds allocated for Maslow activities between 2013 and 2016. Over 17 million Ghana cedis, which was meant to be disbursed to victims of fire incident at Kantamandu, was misappropriated by the accused. The report that was presented to former President Mahama, and even the one that we've seen circulating, I have not seen even a sentence or even a page talking about Sedna Tamaklu, somebody or who misappropriated. He was a former CEO of Maslow. And for this person, the entire matter has gone through our court processes. The court made pronouncement. He's been sentenced to 10 years in prison. Yet, the oral committee whatsoever did not find it appropriate to tell Ghanaians where Sedna Tamaklu is. Indeed, I'm even surprised that even yesterday when the Attorney General had the press conference, I was thinking, well, this is a pending issue. This is some monies misappropriated, 17 million. I was thinking that the Attorney General will even mention it, that maybe they'll be taking steps to make sure that Sedna Tamaklu will be brought back to Ghana. She rather is a fugitive, not Mr. Ofori Atta. She rather is a fugitive, not Mr. Ofori Atta. President John Dramani Mahama has promised OCA instead of ORA. President Mahama now, according to Manasseh Azori, is the Republic's chief clearing agent. Ladies and gentlemen, President Mahama cannot shift the chief clearing agent tag to the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice, Dr. Dominic Ayeni. Yesterday at the press conference, you saw how the Attorney General struggled to say that President Mahama did not direct him to file nolle prosequi, and that he made a decision independently. I mean, this is bizarre, and for me, this is more worrying. Such important matter. A minister tasked with the construction of 5,000 units of houses, $200 million involved. We did not get the 5,000 units. We rather got uncompleted 1,005 units. The said minister was in court, and the Attorney General entered into a nolle prosequi, and he's been appointed. You have a situation where there is a $66 million scandal hanging around the neck of the former Senate boss, Mr. Thompson. And instead of him to answer to Ghanaians through the court, again, the Attorney General entered into another procedure. Clean this person. He says, go home. And then you have a former deputy governor in charge of banking supervision, advancing a colossal amount of 400 million or so to a dying, to a collapsing bank. And he's in court to answer. The Attorney General goes to court, picks this man up, clears him of all charges. Then the following day, interestingly, he is appointed governor, Bank of Ghana. So you ask yourself, President Muhammad, so is it the case that you cannot get anybody at all to be governor, Bank of Ghana, and you must appoint somebody with a heap of cases around this, with so many issues around his neck? He is answering a case in court, a case over 400 million Ghana cedis sold. And the Attorney General goes in, picks him up, clears him, the following day he is appointed governor. Meanwhile, you are chasing after certain ghost documents from ORA, and then you have Mr. Donlevot saying that even all the documents they have gathered, it must be audited before it can be credible. You've been given a work to do, and then you present your report, and now you are telling us that even the work that you have done is not even correct, it's not even solid, and that we must audit it again. This is the kind of situation we find ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, the Attorney General can tell this story that the president wasn't aware. What kind of governance is that? That you drop such important cases in court, involving former ministers, involving somebody you intended to appoint the governor Bank of Ghana. You made all of these decisions without the input of the president, and the president wasn't aware. Said this to some children by the fireside, but not to us. President Mahama appointed him and instructed him to clear the NDC members while taking steps to prosecute opponents using a certain discredited ORA. Even their chairman cannot even declare his assets. He said in Airport Hills. In Airport Hills, in about 500,000. Of the mansion, a big mansion with swimming pool, 8-bedroom, big mansion. He said that he's been renting this building for the past 8 years from our church. It is between $15,000 to $20,000 a month. He told the committee, the vetting committee, that the only source of income for him is the money he receives as an MP. You let's add all his sitting allowance, committee allowance, all of that. His pay is 20,000. All the allowances put together, less than 20,000. And then you stay in a 220,000 Ghana cedis a month house. You ORA committee chairman, you cannot even declare your assets. You cannot even disclose your source of income. So where do you get money, apart from the 40,000, that where do you get money to fund all of these 220,000 rent you pay every month? In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, this Mahama government has deceived Ghanaians. A candidate who campaigned to reduce the cost of living is now busily undermining people's livelihood by revoking their appointment. Candidate or President John Dramani Mahama, who promised to uphold the laws and combat corruption, instead is clearing alleged wrongdoers and turning blind eye while the OSP abuses the law to target its political opponents. The NDC did not promise this to Ghanaians. Based on the experience so far, the reset President Mahama promised is a deterioration of Ghana's modest means. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana needs an upgrade, not just a regressive reset we are experiencing only a month into President Mahama's government. We invite Ghanaians to join the effort to hold the Mahama government to strict accountability. Thank you very much. So, we know Mamoa, the Bekan Kings, the Bebono, Bekan Kings, Bonitofa. Emra special prosecutor, a friend said, for in Shemudi. And said, drop on Shemudi of Frey. Or see, Ofori Atta or your former finance minister will declare wanted to be a ordinary free attendee. A Bushanfo, Yera and Ofori Atta, Busumi came a dana to Sumi free or men or Serpine, every chief of staff, Yama Mifrimao. Ebra Yera chief of staff of Fra, or by Yera Zebra, by Osan Chok Kata as Hardman. Say, oh, we're free of my name, so here be big information. San said, the Dibra no do a Benmoa. Obehiano, a war. A year provided a point of a fast for the Bemano, and near Abesu, email in the Adinian and address, the bed and phone number in Yama. I am 24th, and a special prosecutor out on the cat as we have. Now, I see better to it more. Yera can Ofori Atta lawyer for extra bread. Say a woman to come to cracker. Come in to come. And you know, or an ampoon in Ayarsa into Boba. What's the going to Washington? Omonfa a prayer back and down. Omukaya and Afe hospital grandpa. Yera can Ofori Atta woman. Omucho Kata at the bread. Say a hammer, who can have the and in one in answer, any who say as for any opening back one, a friend of Japan, we did more on my point you in the right field. I go to transfer my bra and Rabia Mahu and some. Yera special prosecutor can't assembly here. Was what we heard you are in the Rata room. Now, no, they asked him. Chance a castle will be done here from now on as in my own. Why you You're right. Of course, I was out as or also another for you, a D in South. Was I tried the hospital or Conocra cat as a last year, a brother special prosecutor who you Airbus. Who's we here opening back? You are Mohammed near back, none in common. Of name, Apple UPO, and income. It is a over say woman. I'm not an offer to announce to announce question. Near when is a near a Adia and Kay and Selfata. Sabi, you're up in Ofori Atta Union Covedia. Now, my main person should be answer NPP party and their members. And will be our Waben Bian. Yen Nan Nemo, sir, ye for Cotipine. Now, your day and in Boisia Pine Bee or Yao Pine Bee. Now, you can say a book of Yen Moisier. Son said, when the empire, your one is an army. Now, what you mean, Penano, which are Kata, at the office moving by a woman. I ask someone, ask him. A BM Swaya. The penny back one was MP, Dr. Sheikh Mustafa Hamid. On also special prosecutor, on also a investigation, and never got persuasion. Here Mustafa Hamid needs some crack. A brown witness in person and say, go for him, come out, can't ask him. Now, only Moshi, who can be young chair, who will be about what we I guess I'm here, man. Now I cannot present the office of Bonnie now, the good movie, and I said, oh, as a person can't say, we said, we're going to Munana, and you know. the new patriotic party, Omwa, Omason, our Abaye Tremu, Yen, Yajimredi, Mumra, Yen Yanim Flat and Training, Nemo, say your faculty will be near Winnie Penwas and your customer and credit, Yadim. Say, your faculty to see a person, Yadim, about the upon the Yadim to Muda. Nemo, we are ever ready. Yaya Krado, see a vessel. About Juma would be away from Mudia, any Juma. Near Tossum, you know, you for that sorry as well. Opening to Lord Deborah said, Ghana for ya for more Juma. A free affiliate came, a year December 17th, and I young lady. It was more police, more immigration, more prisons, more fire service. More nursing for, a doctor for, your former civil service moon, and no Munana, Munya Munkata, local government moon, and you be a Munya Munkata, a year December 7th, you be it. I said, where to a jet and you Ramahama said it, and none go by. Also, after Namu Sai, say, oh, Baba Bogana Mrahobai. No, what's your muta? One must say over the church and Ghana Brasso. You Ramahama and not go by and wash our share Ghana for the say. Oh, the Eduma air by. One can over to Keduma. And the way and no one I pass now had crata irregular by the by a pump and asked him. Your kind I say, oh, Eduma at the moment. I say, and name and also the day. And yes, if you are cassette, or Munam Kochuan, Munam and Rabone, Yan Famra Papa, Yan did to me. I was your answer before me, away to Momo. If you are not bought, I used to share. She said, Yan Passe, a new part, yeah, fail. You won't, I can't get a bit to your mocha. Almost sorry, Procope and Felipa. It's a new part. Thousands of jobs. And I hear Mahama and now the chief of staff so which I was just saying, oh, be a good answer, Mamma, and I said, in Vietnam. In Vietnam, I feel the other Felipa. Now, you right, you know, the rescue said 2016, a brown was a chief of Aquanano, a brown Ofori Atta, 16 December, or no assigned car or appointee, Auditor General. Director also NCC and the church. Nisa Sheka Tasia, you run another book for but one that's what come. Appointment to be a year Mahama, pension 2016, I will finish in a year. You saw at the year, man. It will ban you, yeah, and knows why you get was. So be a friend, you man, now so for money that was, you will be more crazy. Yaman charge also the 24 hours economy, but even a demand, even a demand. Ebe ya duma numre, ebe ya duma ahmache. Papa na wo hono so mu twam. Mesra we na mra kwaso. Na yen the new patriotic party. Yen tna ho maga. Bia. Opese onamra kwaso no ku bia le tanachi. Mi a be tna he. Ene ye ma lawyer for quarter. Omodi asem na kutu court re. Openi Mahama. Ene man chief and you're not financial. Now, almost what I send your account, you know, I send your account, or one police, or more military, or more immigration, or more prisoners, not almost come home. Now you also need your money, or yet check on you, almost marching on for your Ramao. Almost your Ghana, said you won't free Burkina, or move free Togo, or move free Ivory Coast, or move free Nigeria. Ghana here and move free almost your Ghana for. You know, all promises are also bear their father for all another one. Sabe, in general, I had a papa who come down for me. In GLS, and what a number of ones. There told me, son, you be and say, You're Muhammad Brow by a who won't be also come. A sit dying and not be a Ghana Sika $200 million. Say, Uncle see a dying 200 units. Name of 20 years, 5,000 units. when TMC 5,000, no go see 1,500 no plans where you a good high ambosso, Empire Foundation level, ye really are never. Now you're not court, now you're busa, you see can baby a pop on we can you fat. Now you are can flat again, and then make us a year on how by on more homework. Obi a court CND 70 million to no go fias or more homework. Near 20 January, so and now only media for share on can one seven. The M one at the chason. Senti bow castle. Catasini for Yene, NPP and for Faso. Also for Faso now buyer. Near court account. Onukrano, what will you live? Ask him. Yes, then he said, you are the Muhammad. For 30 days, they are working here, and come here, and near my airport one and any apart. Yang the new patriotic party. Yaka. Say Obibia or war Abemua or Sumia and the NPP. Yang Yensro. See a bishia attention. The new patriotic party is Yejina, Obibia. Nemono. And now, dear, you better play. Say a day I dear, a Wukasam, Basabasayo, and yet the better you go for David. And the young. A quaint beyond them, Rapine now, so Pia or said, Yea, Obian Mubian, fully the supporting, saying Posso, the private tie of poor 40 year old children say, a bit name Marano. A sheer, name Mum say, Wukasam, Ayaka dear, and Nadia, if a Jacumuta. Commission for say, friend now, we any say, get it to
thank you all for coming. We wish you well. Wait for Columbia. Columbia will come, so let us all. Then I'm trying Columbia. Say that I am trying people.
I said a better content on you. The story has to go this evening.
Anyway.